Hey, good morning, everyone. Let's begin our meditation session now with the chanting. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinādana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kāmesu miccācārā viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musāvādā viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. සුරාමීරේ මජ්ජපමාදට්ඨානා වීරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි. සාදු සාදු සාදු. Now let's begin our mindfulness practice. Maintaining the proper posture with upright body and gently closed eyes. Observing the 5 precepts, the 5 training practices as the foundation for our spiritual practice, as your way of life. To abstain from killing and harming, the stealing, the sexual misconduct, abstaining from lying and wrongful speech, and abstaining from harmful drugs and intoxicants. Even accepting yourself as a spiritual person or as a perfect human being, as you have established yourself in this positive way of life, especially at this moment, as you are paying your full attention to your spiritual practice, to relax your body and calm the mind, to purify the mind from defilements and other hindrances, to understand yourself better with your direct experience. So appreciating this very moment, being very happy about your spiritual practice. Bringing some joyful and happy feelings into your mind, into your practice. Taking a few deep inhalations and exhalations. Some long, mindful and gentle breaths. Releasing any tension and negative energies from the body. You may bring your total attention to your inner experience, your psychophysical entity, as you experience each breath throughout the body, and relax. With this inward attention, you may spend some time on focusing on your physical body, your physical experience at this moment, just to see how you feel the body. If it is relaxed, if it is peaceful, or even if it is restless, by gently scanning through the body, sweeping through it from the top of the head, gently down to the tips of the toes, observing even the subtle sensations and feelings through the deep stillness. Without thinking, just observing as it is, and see if you can completely let go of all the thoughts, past memories, and other mental images from the mind, allowing yourself to be here and now in the present moment. You are just listening to your body with an empty mind, being very kind and gentle to yourself, feeling the deep sense of connectedness with your body and mind. If you wish to continue to maintain this mindful attention to your physical experience, you may do so. Otherwise, whenever you feel comfortable, bringing your total attention to the breathing process, understanding the breath as you breathe in and out through the nostrils. You may observe each and every single incoming and outgoing breath mindfully. When you breathe in, simply being aware that you are breathing in. When you breathe out, being aware that you are breathing out. See for how long you can be just with the present breath without getting distracted. Letting go of the past, letting go of the future, relaxing your body and calming the mind with each breath. You are just observing the natural breath with present moment, silent awareness. Simply understanding how your body and mind become free from tension, stress, and anxieties, developing more inner peace and harmony. As you maintain this present moment, silent awareness on each breath. As you are very sensitive, mindful, and attentive to your physical body and mind, along with the breathing exercise, as you experience this inner peace and harmony, the spiritual happiness, physical and mental well being, and these healthy and positive states of being, let us share all these positive feelings now with all living beings in the world, in the universe, including all of us who are here now, letting your love go to all beings in all directions, broadening your heart and broadening your mind, wishing them may all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be relaxed. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be relaxed. May all beings be peaceful. Now turning back to yourself, taking a few deep in breaths and out breaths, refreshing your body and mind, and understanding the posture, simply wishing may this spiritual practice, may this peace and harmony be there with me to face and overcome all inevitable negativities in my everyday life, and to appreciate and enjoy all the positive experiences, to understand the true meaning of this precious human life, and to be a great blessing to myself, and to be a great blessing to all living beings. You may open your eyes. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, first of all, I have an announcement to make about upcoming events. On the New Year's Day evening, we have a blessing ceremony at the temple. It is called the Atavisi Buddha Puja, veneration to 28 Buddhas. So we have this event every year. So we start the ceremony at 4 p.m. So you are welcome to join. It's a beautiful ceremony to receive the blessings for the new year. And also, I have scheduled a weekend meditation retreat for you, which will be held on January 13th and 14th. We will be focusing on the 4 sublime states, Satara Brahma Viharas, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekha, loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, and equanimity. So in this Metta retreat, you will be learning very important aspects of how to maintain our positive relationships with ourselves and others. So I thought it would be very appropriate as we start the new year, because many people have different issues, problems with their relationships. So many people don't know how to face and handle certain situations when they interact with others. It's a very broad experience. In the Buddhist teachings, we have a lot of wisdom to find the peace and harmony in our everyday life in that aspect. So this retreat will include guided meditation sessions, some teachings, and open discussions. So we start at 8:30 a.m. And we end at 4:30 p.m. The lunch and the beverages will be provided. And it is a non-residential retreat, so you may go home and come back the following day. So it's a weekend retreat. So please bring your friends also, so you can sign up for this retreat. I have set up a sign-up sheet in the front desk. So please remember. So I invite you all to come and join and get the benefit of this great opportunity. All right. So let's focus on our the discussion on the Dhammapada for today. So we have started the chapter on the enlightened ones, enlightened beings. So today we have a very beautiful stanza. Just to remind you about what we discussed last Saturday, the meaning of the stanza was with journey finished and sorrowless, from everything completely free, for one who's loosened all the ties, passion's fever is not found. So these are some qualities that all the enlightened ones experience as a result of completion of their spiritual journey, spiritual practice, practicing and cultivating necessary spiritual qualities up to the highest level. Mainly, this stanza identified a couple of those qualities, right? As you can remember, especially the letting go aspect. It's a beautiful quality, as we always talk about, where we always bring our attention to talk about the attachment to different conditions in our everyday life and how we experience different negativities along with that, and how peaceful, how tranquil, how free we can become when we learn how to let go of things. And this letting go is a consequence, it's a result of practicing of these spiritual qualities. Even mindfulness meditation, this letting go directly requires a lot of understanding. It happens to us when we understand the reality of our life and the world. Especially what we learn in the teachings as anicca, dukkha, and anatta, impermanence, unsatisfactoriness in this conditional world, and the non-self reality. So that is what we focused there. So today we have another beautiful stanza. with the kind of same meaning or message. So let's take a look. The stanza goes like this, the Pali stanza. Uyyunjanti sati mantu nanikete ramantite hansav pallalang hitva okamokang jahantite. Okay. The meaning: mindful ones exert themselves. In no abode do they delight. As swans abandoning their lake, home after home they leave behind. That's a simple meaning. The idea there is also how the wise people, spiritual people, the smart people learn to let go as they move forward. It gives a beautiful simile. It gives a beautiful example how when a swan fly away from a lake, having no any trace behind, leaving no trace there, without any attachment to that lake, they leave just like that. So it is beautifully mentioned, explained in different discourses, even how these enlightened ones wanders around. Especially in those days, monks and nuns did not stay in one place, in one temple. They used to travel. They did not stay in one particular place for a long time. They were the travelers. Therefore, in the teachings, in different discourses, we see how Buddha mentions that the spiritual beings, those who don't have any attachment to these places where they live, they just wanders around. They wanders around just like deers. Deer. We always see deer here. They are just mucking around. They travel. They go from place to place. They have no any attachment to any place like that. So the enlightened beings are just like that. Okay. It has a very philosophical, spiritual, deep meaning. Even though it talks about something superficial, as we see in the first place, as this part of the teachings are connected to our everyday life experience, what we go through in our everyday life. This has a very special psychological and spiritual meaning to it. Okay. If you just think about how much we are attached to the places we live, where we are, it's a very special part of our experience in our life, So it's a very common experience, from the beginning of our journey, as human beings, to live in a shelter. No matter where we live, in the beginning, maybe they lived in caves, maybe under trees, So it's very natural for anyone to get attached to these places, their shelters, their homes. It's a very natural thing. But when you think about that experience, how it is related, how it is connected to our feelings. Sometimes when things happen to these places, these things, our house, how hard it is, especially when we have to leave, when you have to say goodbye to these places. Two things possibly can happen. Something can happen to these shelters, these places, as a result of natural disasters, maybe a fire, or sometimes we may have to leave. Sometimes we move to different places. Sometimes we die. We have to say goodbye forever. So for some people, it can be a very critical, very emotional, powerful experience to let go. That much they are attached to these things. Even though it mentions here about the place, right, where you live. When you think about your real home, it is this body. This is your real home. This is where we live and experience everything, right? So we have that strong attachment to this body, identifying ourselves with this body. This is me. This is my life. This is what I call myself, our identity. So we have very powerful, strong attachment to this body, our real home. So it's a very special part of our everyday life experience. Without knowing, even though we are aware or not, from the beginning, up to this moment, even to the future, we have this strong connection or attachment to, emotional attachment to this body. So in that sense, it becomes a very powerful, challenging, disturbing, painful experience for many people, especially when they die. Whenever they have to leave this body as a reality, right? We may all have to experience that. We don't know when, but it will be very hard, very difficult for us to leave this body. Even to see this body fall apart, when things go wrong, if we do not have a better understanding about the reality of this body, it would be very difficult for us to let go of it. This is one of the biggest challenges actually for many people as human beings, especially at the death and dying experience. So it also implied here, just like the swan leaving the lake without any attachment. Are we able to do that? It's a big question. Even though we talk about the death and dying, this critical experience, inevitable reality in our life, before it comes to us, we have no clue how we would react to it when it really happens to us, right? That's why it is very important, very essential for us to think about it before it comes to us. What it would be like. What would be my reaction? I always think about, what is my experience without this body at all? What it would be like? It is so enlightening. It's so enlightening. It can teach you so many things about your life and the world. What is my existence without this body? How it would be? How would I even recognize myself? Even how that reality would affect others, even, how they would identify myself. Sometimes I think about it like that. That's the reality of leaving this body. And this journey will continue according to our karmas, finding a suitable place for the rebirth process. So that's a different subject. But according to these beautiful teachings, we need to learn how to learn to let go. A beautiful example I just happened to see today. It's a very common practical experience for us, especially when we drive. Okay, when we drive, we learn so many things. If you are mindful enough, there you can learn so many things. When you drive, you always look ahead, right? You always have to look through the windscreen, the dash, and from time to time, you may have to look in the side mirrors, maybe in the blind spots, right? We do that. But can you keep looking at the side mirror or the blind spot? What do you think? No, maybe not even 3 seconds, right? The advice is maybe within 1 second, you have to look straight. After looking in the blind spot mirror or the side mirror. So it is just like living in the past. So you look back, what is back in there through the side mirror or the blind spot for your safety to move forward. And right away, you had to look in the windscreen and look ahead where you are now. This is exactly what it means. You cannot simply live in the past for that long. It's important that you look back from time to time, but just for the learning purpose, but not to harbor, not to stay, not to linger in there. What will happen to you is just like when you are driving, you get into so many problems, troubles, negativities. When you keep looking in at the past, if you find any indulgence there, even if you get attached to your past, you completely lose what is ahead of you, right there. Even. It can be very dangerous, just like the driving experience. You never know what kind of accidents you may end up with. It can be very critical, very dangerous. That is the message, learning to let go. And this is exactly where we learn letting go and learning to accept what it is now, whatever is arising right now, right? What is my experience right now? Yeah. That is the acknowledgement of the present experience. This is how we're supposed to move forward with safety. So whenever you drive, keep that in mind, that message. And we need to apply that into our mental, psychological experience. It's very interesting, very important to learn how much we suffer, how much negativities that we experience as a result of lingering in the past, our past experiences, situations, relationships, issues, and our memories. It would be very smart, very skillful, very wise even, if we can let go of that dead past. Even to understand that reality, that experience, if we easily get caught up in the past and get emotionally involved within our past experience, how we go through different negativities in life. To have that wisdom, that understanding, that message even, continuously in your awareness, will give you some protection, some safety, no harm. So whatever you experience, whatever you enjoy even, you cannot stay there. Every single moment, it belongs to the past. In order for you to live and enjoy, appreciate, acknowledge whatever is arising, you have to be in the present moment. Otherwise, you will lose that. Even though there are so many things to enjoy, acknowledge, appreciate, especially the learning aspect, you lose all these things when you live in the past. So, in reality, this is what we call the real living. If we are not in the present moment, we are like dead if you live in the past, because you are belong to the past, So the meaning of living exactly consciously means to live in the present moment. So many beautiful things are going to happen to us as a result of that. So that wisdom, that understanding is very helpful for us. So this is a natural phenomenon of an enlightened being, enlightened person, a wise person. Not to get attached to any condition, any place, and leave them behind without any trouble, without any strings attached to, them. So that is the real freedom. It is such a wonderful freedom that we can experience when we learn how to let go. So that happens basically when we purify our mind, when we let go of these mental impurities from our mind. So we dwell in the past, we get attached to our past experiences because of these mental impurities, lobha, dosa, moha, greed, hatred, and delusion. These are the root causes of all these mental impurities. So when our minds are free from these mental impurities, we experience that freedom of attachments. So that's what Buddha explained with this beautiful stanza. Just like a swan abandoning their lake, home after home, they leave behind. They leave behind. They move forward freely. So let's keep that in mind, and let's see how this aspect is applied to our everyday life experience. Just to avoid unnecessary negativities, suffering in our life. Any question? Any comment or anything?
Just thinking about something along those lines last night. So it's a very, very relevant message. About how the Buddha talks about it, everything arising to causes and conditions, and just I think you were saying that the three impurities, or the three root causes or conditions for all the problems, and the Buddha teaching was, how do we remove those? How do we, give rise to the causes that help eventually eliminate that? And just thinking about, just even in my own life, what causes and conditions do I still, give rise to that don't have very positive results, and what could I do to give rise to other positive conditions that will eliminate those.
Yeah. The wise reflection, the mindfulness and wise reflection. Yoniso Manasikara, we use in the teachings, the term. Mindfulness and clear comprehension. Wise analysis. So these are the qualities that we need to keep up with, continually practice in order to understand this reality and for that reality to take place within our experience, in our mind. So we have to do that, we have to apply that constantly. Because if you are not mindful, if you are not in that wise reflection, even for one moment, 1 minute, that's enough for you to get caught up in any of those negativities. So that is the training explains in the teachings. That type of mindfulness we have to maintain about our mind, because our mind is that much vulnerable to these negativities. So that is our training. So when we appreciate it, when we see the result, when we see the benefit, it becomes something that you really enjoy and appreciate. And that's where you don't need that much effort to maintain that quality. But in the beginning, you may need some effort, conscious effort. But if you make that practice training something usual, like a habit, just like other things in your everyday life, it becomes a part of yourself, your practice. Without any effort, it's always going to be there. That's how you become safe. That no any negativity, these internal or external conditions, can distract you, disturb you anymore. So that kind of experience is possible, but that requires a lot of practice, training, depending on how much you appreciate that. So let's continue to practice and do this wise reflection continuously. Any other question or comment? Yes.
Yes, as far as, I understand about not becoming attached to places, but how does that come into play with other people? As far as attachment and, I mean, there's people in my life that I can't imagine not being attached to. And when someone dies, it's painful, of course.
Sure.
You don't want that to happen, but it does. So, how does an enlightened woman deal with that?
Yeah, that is a very important aspect to this topic. When we talk about attachment, non-attachment, letting go. How do we deal with relationships like others around us, right? Like as a lay person, you have a family, you have children, husband, wife, your grandparents, maybe your friends and others. So how do you really maintain that understanding? It's a big question for many people, but still in line with that basic understanding, just like we explained, begin with yourself, okay? Begin with yourself. That means, can you really get attached to yourself, to your home, as I said earlier, your body, your life, right? When natural, inevitable things happen to it, even when you have to say goodbye forever to this body, your home, and everything. What about others then? Can we expect anything otherwise? about others, they all are in the same boat, same experience. Okay. So remember, this teaching, this practice, this understanding, this transformation is just to be free from suffering. That's the ultimate thing. Okay. But when you deal with others, as far as these different relationships are concerned, so you really acknowledge these connections, the sense of unity, this relationship. These are very essential, very important. When you understand about the problems of issues of attachment, what we really try to understand here is the emotional attachment to these relationships. Okay. There you understand the point you begin to suffer because of these relationships. That is the problem. That is the issues that we need to correct there. Otherwise, there's nothing wrong in maintaining these relationships. You try to do your best, these individuals, those who are around you, out of real loving kindness and compassion. How it really happens to you is that when you understand that reality, even in their life, as you understand the reality of your life, your body, your life, you understand the same to be equal to all others. So you understand how helpless they are, how vulnerable they are even to these natural circumstances, and there is the real loving kindness and compassion is experienced and maintained within you towards them. And then you find this emotional connection or attachment to be problematic to you and others. The real relationship, real connection actually begins to you when you understand this reality. Your love and compassion become so meaningful with the understanding about the reality. This is what happened to the Buddha and other enlightened beings. When they understood the reality, the truth, the real loving kindness and compassion happened to them. So because of their connections, their relationships with others for any condition, they did not suffer because of them, because they always maintained that real understanding. They didn't get caught up in any negativity, therefore. Otherwise, you perform all your duties, your responsibilities to each and everybody, those who are around you, but with a better understanding, what is the exact meaning, what is happening to us in this life. That is the difference. That's the transformation we expect with this understanding. It's all about how we understand. That's why it is said that our loving kindness and compassion always should go with the understanding, the wisdom. Otherwise, we make mistakes. That's why we see there are a lot of troubles, problems, issues with relationships today in society, in the world. They don't really experience and maintain the real love and compassion. And the problem with the emotional love, without wisdom, without understanding. So that is the important thing to keep in mind. Many people think actually when they hear about this non-attachment, oh, this is something we cannot practice. We have all these connections, relationships. How can we practice non-attachment. It is possible. It is possible with this understanding. It is not like leaving everything behind and you go to a forest and live alone. That is the meaning of non-attachment. Many people understand that that way, but it is not exactly the non-attachment taught in the Dhamma. It is all about how we let go in our mind, not externally. So depending on our level of understanding, how much you want to experience it, many people find the meaning of letting go of even these external conditions, like living a very simple life with less needs, right? But it is all about letting go from your inside. So many people complain, even the Buddha, living in the luxury monasteries, temples, even eating different food, different portions, different days, many people complain. This is how we look at them from outside. We never able to see their inside, right? So it's all about inner transformation, how we handle, how we process, how we experience them within ourselves, inside. So no matter what you enjoy, what you experience in the right way in this world, without any emotional attachment to them, not causing any harm, any trouble, issues, suffering, or any negativity to you, that is okay. That is safe. Yes.
So is it like, I can love and care about you, I can let you go? No.
You can't let you go, you mean? So what was the last part?
I can love and care about you, but I can let you go if needed to avoid.
Can let you go. Can let you go, right? Yes, of course. Because of the understanding of the reality, you are ready to let go. Anytime you can let go of that. But you perform your duty, your responsibility perfectly, because that is the reality. What can you do about it otherwise, right? That's the meaning. Okay. So let's take some time to process these things, to understand the true meaning and how these beautiful teachings are applied to our everyday life. And learn to benefit from what we practice. Okay. All right. So please remember those two events on the New Year's Day blessing ceremony and the weekend metta retreat. All right. Thank you very much. All the blessings to you. Sadhu.